Myself and my best buddy Dave, who actually watched me die in December, so he's got a little PTSD with regards to that. Dave Mitchell, if you haven't seen him, he plays Knuckles. Lovely human being. Ask him about the story sometime, watch his face go white. We arrived last night. He was clever. He flew to Altoona, but his flight was delayed 3.5 hours, so he got here after me. I flew into Pittsburgh and had a 2.5-hour drive with a wonderful gentleman who drove me all the way in, and I'm looking at Altoona going, there's not a lot going on here at this time. But like most places that I visit that are like this, it's the people that count. It's always been the people that count. It doesn't matter where I go, it doesn't matter how many terrible chain restaurants there are on the high road. It's the people that make the difference, and it's been lovely so far. It's been wonderful to see your happy smiling faces, and you guys have you made it totally worthwhile being on here. I'm freaking exhausted. I went on tour with Billy Moran and Paul Carella in Europe, did 3 gigs over there, came back 2 days later, went to the Creation gig, weekend later did another one, just got back from that. Just got back from Chicago, and I just came here, and I couldn't tell you just how much love I'm getting today. It's just wonderful. So thank you for being here, guys. You guys are awesome. I'm already bored and sick of the sound of my own voice. Does anybody have a question? You know what? You can shout it out if you want to, because it's not that big a room. Well, apparently not. What? Don't touch it. It's not yours. What's that? Oh yeah, right, you're really a rule follower. No, individuals. What do you need?
I was just wondering about anything that you want to go what your thoughts were on that.
I have none. I was busy, I went to go do something else.
Well, I'm glad you're going to
What's your thoughts on it? Sorry. Some people hate the end of The Sopranos, I love it.
Well, just for you, we just got there.
For me? I just didn't like the stupidity. I actually didn't like the previous 2 seasons for me, so I thought 11 and 12 weren't really that interesting. I think Andrew actually sort of lost interest in Crowley, and he was interested in finding some sort of story that he was running with Pellegrino and Alex and whatever, and it sort of became, oh, we'll just move Crowley out.
That's what it seemed like.
Yeah, that's what happens. So, tough shit. When you lose me, there you go, you get what you get. All I can tell you is I didn't watch anything else after season 12. I was busy watching and doing Doom Patrol. I was on tour for a while with Robin Hitchcock. If you haven't seen Doom Patrol, you're idiots. Brendan Fraser, Matt Bowman, Timothy Dalton, Diane Guerrero, April Bowlby, Siobhan Wade, Michelle Gomez, Julian Richards, Julian McNiven's in it. Everybody's in it. It's fantastic. The entire town disappears up the arse of a donkey in the second episode. It is the most bizarre television show that has ever been made in history, and I love every minute of it. And I'm playing Constantine, so kind of good. Certainly better than that stupid
That's why he said he has a one color tie.
He's wearing the costume. He's really
Well, to follow up with that, maybe a more happy thing. What was your favorite on-set supernatural moment?
End of season 8. End of season 8 was the best thing we ever did. Jared says the same thing. I mean, it's like, it was an extraordinary time. I mean, you figure like, first 5 seasons were Kripke, beginning, middle, and end, right? It's supposed to end at the end of season 5. You got an apocalypse, that should be the end of it, right? And then, they get to Sarah Gamble, and Sarah's now got to steer a giant cruise ship in an opposite direction. It takes a while. And season 6 is kind of amazing. You've got Weekend at Bobby's, you've got French Mistake, you've got all sorts of amazing episodes in that. You've got really, really good stuff. And it got really cool. I think season 7, as interesting as it is, the whole Leviathan thing and everything else, and what I went to, and season 7 Time for the Wedding and all that sort of era, it would have been a way better season 12 than it was a season 7, because I don't think we were ready for the heavily serialized single story as much as we would be now. I think she did a great job. And then when Jeremy Carver came back in, also by the way, ran Doom Patrol, he was like, Angels and Demons, let's go back to what it should be and where it's at. And so we kicked into 8 with a full idea for a story and a full idea of where we were going to go. And it's the work that the people had done before that made that happen. I mean, we built it. Hello, don't do that. Listen. I can see you. I see your right hand moving. We're all looking at you. So, but we built it. We've done it. So it wasn't that hard to set up and do. And by the time you get to the end, from the time with Abaddon, me in the chair, you know, the voice through the window, the outside, the exterior of the church, which is the worst weather I've ever seen in Vancouver in my life. It's really dangerous actually doing that stuff. And then to move onto the stage to do the interior of the church, we then shot everything in sequence, which you never do in television. And we shot it in scene order. And so we just kept building and building and building towards Angels Falling from the Sky, which was, I think, one of the best things we've ever done. And around that time, 6, 7, 8, 9, I was generally used to put the button on the end of the seasons, which is kind of fun. And that's where we get the Demon Dean and we get the stuff. I always thought that was just a magical thing. It was all good, it was all wonderful. I mean, it was an amazing thing to do. But Aiden Special, that was us at our top and our peak and our best. We knew what we were doing and had an entire crew. Crews work, you know, they're supposed to work and they're quiet while you work. And then in between they got shit to do and, you know, they get to talk and do what they need to do because it's hard work swinging stuff from ceilings and moving scenes around because you shoot this side, now you got to shoot this side. It takes 2 hours to turn everything around. You turn the whole army around and relight and do all this stuff. And they were silent between each change. So we stayed in the same mode for like 2.5 days, which meant that everything we did, all the, you know, You're My Marnie Moose and all that stuff, I Deserve to Be Loved and The Crying, and everything from Abaddon onwards was all done in order. And it made it really, really good. I don't think I came out of the chair for like 2 days. Seriously. The Dolly Grip, Peter, actually took one of those, you know a deli counter where they have the numbers that you pull out, right? He put one up next to my chair and started a line of people to punch me in the face. And then like 6 months later, we'd be doing something, if he got annoyed about something, he would just take the ticket out of his wallet and show it to me. It's all about love. Thank you. What do you want? Come on, don't amble up to the mic. Come on, you can do it.
Okay, so it seems like the role of Crowley was like actually written for you because you nailed it. If you could play a different character, who would it be and why?
Why bother? No interest. Do what I do. Crowley was 1 episode. It was 1 episode. Ended up staying there 8 and a bit years. You know, it's a long time to do something. But yeah, it wasn't written for me in that context. What it was written. I went in and made it what I wanted to make it. And they went, this is interesting. And then maybe 22 writers over the course of those seasons were all competing to find something funny for me to do and make it as difficult as possible for me to do it. And, you know, they would actually compete to write me stuff, which is fun. At the end of a little run of creation gigs that ended in 17, because my friends all had jobs and I didn't. I just thought it was a bit crass to go do conventions and have everybody come and say, when are you coming back? So I went off and did other things, and that was cool. And now it's all finished, we're all in the same boat. It's a better thing. It's just a better way of doing it. And I remember it was San Francisco, everybody had the paddles. What? DC, sorry. I always thought it was San Francisco. It was DC with the paddles. You did it, didn't you? You got everybody. How many was there? Well, I did 72 episodes here. So everybody held up a paddle, and each paddle had a line that I'd said from each one of the episodes, pretty much. Some from the same episodes, but it was, and I wasn't doing my usual wandering around annoying people as I like to do. Who the hell did you come as? Yeah, you. Yeah. Who's that? Who? Never heard of it. I thought he came as Columbo. I was like really excited. So 70 odd paddles, and I was walking around and everybody really nervously. So I'm walking around high-fiving babies and enjoying myself. They put paddles up and I could see these lines, and I was remembering the context of each of the lines as I was going through. I thought it was a really lovely moment. It's all your fault. It was a good fault. But it was just amazing. It sort of cemented the sort of, I guess, the pathology of the character as he went forwards. How it morphed, you know. I mean, obvious ones, no one in this show has been tortured, tortured with. Oh, Jesus, wow, I can tie my shoelaces. It ends in a preposition, which annoys the hell out of me. So Eugenie Ross Lemming, who wrote that novel, knew that it would annoy me because it ends with a preposition. So when he's saying it, it's a non-history torture, and it's this horrible, I'm talking to 12 people at the table, as Abaddon is over there on the other side of the room. It's really badly staged. My director didn't like very much. And I have to do this, and I'm like, no one in this should torture, with. You want to go torture, with, torture, with, torture, with, torture. So it's kind of fun. So, you know, there's some great stuff. There's amazing stuff's come out of Crowley Lines. Moose and Squirrel comes out of Crowley Lines. You know? What are you clapping for? I love you too, but why are you clapping? Because you love Moose and Squirrel? Yeah. Do you know where that comes from? Where's it come from? Right, but why do we have Moose and Squirrel? Yeah, but why do we have Moose and Squirrel? Why is Jared a moose? It's not that he's huge, he's a massive upper body strength and chicken legs. And a moose is a driver killing system, right? You go to Canada, you know, we're up here, you kind of know too. But a moose is like basically 2 tons on sticks at the same height as your windshield. And we've been trying to find insults for Jared for about half a season at that point. And I'm like, Gigantor, moped lumberjack. No, that's later, because that's the two of them, the piles of fat and flannel was good. That is actually good. But before that it was like Jolly Green, Gigantor, Giraffe, all this, it just wasn't sticking. And then there's that Me in the Boat Out mansion, and Dean's in the thing, sitting down with a beer in my boat out, they burned down my mansion. And I'm like, where's your moose? And he goes, oh, he went to, and that was it. Everyone just went like, oh my God. And then the best one, my favorite, I told the story of that, but my favorite one is when Crowley is having the blind date with Sheriff Jody Mills. And the great thing about that setup is that the audience knows who Crowley is and Jody Mills doesn't. So you lot are all going, right? And she's like, oh, he's so nice. And I've got her crying and I'm holding her hand. I changed the tie for that. Do you remember that? It was really funny. It was the first time I ever changed the tie. I was like, really? I had a tie for dates? So funny. And so the phone rings, and the phone rings on TV. There's no sound. That gets put in afterwards. They get put in post-production. And then, you know, I look at the phone. And I thought it would be funny to go, this is the king. And the director's like, yeah, he thinks he's funny. And it's obviously Dean calling me, knowing that I've got Jody Mills and I'm threatening them unless they do what I ask them to do, I'm going to kill her. And you all know I'm going to kill her, and she doesn't, which makes it so mean. It's just awful. She's like, he's such a sweet guy and he understands me. It's like, yeah. But the joke is that I didn't, until I went to go do ADR on it, I didn't see what music and effects had done. So, first of all, I have a ringtone, which I never heard, until I saw it. And it's, I like big butts and I cannot lie. And I'm like, and because I never heard it, it doesn't even register on me. So that's just my ringtone. So, and I look at the phone, I look down at the phone, and they cut what's called an insert shot, which is another crew comes in and shoots stuff without me, like somebody else's hand on the phone. And it said, you know what it said on the phone? Not moose, which was, that was it. I was like, you know, you got moose and not moose. That is hysterical. That got me. And this is the game. So, yeah, fun stuff. And that what you get from this stuff, I hope, is that it's 150 people trying to make really good television. It's not just actors and directors and writers, it's everybody. Every single person involved is trying to do it. There's never enough money, there's never enough time. There's things you have to cut because it's gonna just take too much time to do, or it's too expensive to build, or you can't get to that set on a certain day and the weather's gonna screw you up, or whatever it's gonna do. And it's compromise after compromise after compromise to get a piece of television done. But the work that goes into it to still try to make it the best thing we can make it is what we're so proud of. That's what was magic. You know, I went for one episode. And that's a big rest. What do you want, darling?
Hi, so I met you at Memento Con, and you named my back tattoo, and my question originally was about your tattoos, but you brought motorcycles, and my partner and I ride. I have a 500 and he has a 650. Which Ducati that you had was your favorite, and what did it max out at?
You serious?
My 500 maxes out at 125.
Really?
I'm just a beginner rider.
Oh.
I'm getting there. I want a Gixxer 800 or a leader bike next.
V4 Superleggera,
Damn.
right?
Damn.
234 horsepower. Maxed out about 240 miles an hour. Right? Built of nothing but unidirectional carbon fiber, magnesium, titanium, rubber. That's it. $100,000 motorcycle, and they lost about $150,000 building it.
Damn.
Absolutely ridiculous. It actually is safer the faster you go. So at 165 miles an hour, has 110 pounds of downforce on the front wheel. Has wings that were deemed illegal in MotoGP. Pecco took my bike around Portimao and came in, I think, 2.5 seconds under his MotoGP speed. And like, how the hell? He goes, we got the illegal wings. One, illegal for MotoGP, not for road. And he said, you're also not riding on Michelin's. I was running Pirelli's.
I would like to have that Isle of Man races.
And TT is terrifying. People die. It's really scary. It takes about 10 years to learn the course. So, V4 Superleggera, 1299 Superleggera, 1199 Superleggera. There's Mitsubishi RR. They're the top bikes that Ducati ever built. There's Mitsubishi RR, which is a V4 08, which had about 200 horsepower, no electronics. Terrifying. Very hard to